All right, on, right on.
I am with Christopher Frutos in Torrance, California. Chris loves Grace by Jeff Buckley. What do you feel when you listen to Grace, Chris?
I feel inspired. I feel a little sad, but also a little like um I guess like excited, and it's like I like singing, and that song's like really fun to sing. I'm probably not gonna sing it for you right now. Like it's fun to sing along when you're like in the car or um in the shower. Um that song has a lot of like mourning of our past relationship. It seems like, I mean, just because from how I interpret the song, it might be other things. Um, but it's a cool song because it goes from very mellow and just like very kind of like the Jeff is like just kind of whispering to you some stuff. He kind of says like there's a moon asking to stay far along, or I didn't pull up the lyrics because I didn't even come that prepared. But he's like, there's a moon asking to stay long enough for the clouds to fly me away. Oh, it's my time coming. I'm not afraid, afraid to die. And it's just kind of like puts you into just a quiet, like, I don't know if you want to play the song, if that's how this format goes or whatever, but it just starts off kind of setting you up for something, and then um yeah, it goes into more like energy slowly, or like in like I would say more of like a terrace, right? It's not like a straight line up, but it's like a terrace and like another terrace, and like, if that makes sense. Does that kind of make
Okay.
sense? Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know if that answers the question. I already forgot the question. I'm just talking about it.
What you got it.
Yeah.
What do you feel inspired by when you said inspired was the first thing you said.
Mhm,
What
mhm.
inspired?
Well, I think the song hints at, or it's getting at him wanting to move on. He talks about it in terms of death, but I think it's more so like um going on to the next part. He's just like he's not afraid to die. But another lyric that he brings onto that is he kind of get is frustrated in that this stage he's in, or this himself waiting to go, it's coming so slowly. So he just feels like he's, you could say, trapped or kind of anxious. But I think from that anxiety comes inspiration, or just like I don't know. I guess there's parts of the song that also just kind of like push you. You know, they kind of just like push you forward. Um,
And
like when
you
he's
feel
singing. Go
inspired,
ahead.
you feel inspired like career wise or social more or
Mhm.
relationship related more.
All of them, I would say, because I feel like there's sometimes songs that you just listen to and you feel something, even though they're talking about something else. Like a song could be talking about, booty and twerking and all that kind of stuff, and for you, you just like you don't even know what they're saying. Sometimes you just like how it's going, how the beat's going, how everything's going. So I guess you could say in any aspect, it could change. I'm not sure. Um,
And do you think about like a one particular relationship from the past or like all like
um,
whatever?
As far as relationship, well, I was in a long term relationship for a while. Not in it now. It's been a while. It's been like a year and a half now. But I guess I could think about that one. But I think all my relationships, just little ones I've had before and after that. Um, Maybe it's just more so myself. I think the more important one is a relationship with myself. Um, yeah, that's probably a big one. I mean, that's the one that stays with you, right? Always. Yeah.
Do you know anyone else that's super into the song that you've like talked
Oh
about
yeah,
it with?
my friends from high school, they're the ones that really showed me Jeff Buckley, like in high school. And I mean, I love the mainly the main album he released before he died, which was in like '95, which is called Grace as well. Do you know about this album? Have you heard it yourself? Sure, you must have.
I've heard Grace. You should. I ended up listening to Grace because of
Yeah.
you. I have not heard the album yet.
Oh, how'd you, if you don't mind me, like, I hope it doesn't waste too much time, but how did you feel about it? How'd you like the song?
I so it was immediately sort of classic in tone, like
Mhm.
sort of the
Yeah.
early '90s. I was just looking at it, the Wikipedia page, and I like that one of the genres it's in is Celtic rock, and
Huh.
I didn't like perceive it beforehand, but then when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, it totally has like Celtic elements, and
Mhm.
I will like a lot of that type of stuff, so it made me like it
Oh.
more.
What is
Just sort of
Celtic rock? If you don't mind going into like what are those sounds that would
it's
come
those
to?
instruments. It's those typical sort of Celtic instruments that that permeate in a lot of different genres and stuff. And I just have like an addiction to those. Um,
Oh,
I'll have to look up exactly what it
is
is.
one of them like an accordion kind of instrument? Because there's this other song he has called "Lover." You should have come over. In the beginning, has that like this like I don't know. It's like accordion, I mean, not an accordion. Yeah, I never mind. Not to get into that too much, but like, what's one instrument that is Celtic? If you might happen to know, I don't know.
Harp,
Okay, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
um, what's a song that's like the complete opposite to Grace that you also love?
Oh man, that's a hard one because as I said, like Grace has so many parts to it that belong to so many emotions that if there's like no opposite to, it's like that's I mean, I guess a song that I could think. Let me see. Let me pull up my library real quick. And let me
Yeah,
just try to just because I think I know what you're getting. I mean, as far as like genres and
yeah.
maybe steering away from the emotionality that it has, maybe something that wouldn't. So, I mean, I don't know. Hard to say. I would maybe say like, yeah, you put me in the spot here. Probably something that would be like pop. I mean, just off based off what I know, I wouldn't know. This is like
Yeah.
correct answer ever. Maybe, damn, this is hard. Just throw in "Just a Stranger" by Cali G's. Why not?
All right.
And I'm not even sure why anymore. I mean, I guess you
Yeah.
don't. It's just a fun song. You don't get into. It's fun, but it's also I wouldn't say. I mean, it's passionate too. I mean, all songs are passion. Yeah, have passion in them, so it's hard. That's one thing that like coming into this medium, music, and not something like movies or shows. Is like when there's actors involved and they're performing and they're it's like they're telling you how or like they're acting like in the end they're still acting some emotion or some concept, but like music it just always seems like the artists who sing it always feel that stuff, they actually are that stuff, and when you see a movie it's almost like a composure of emotions, but behind it and what's actually in front of you is not really any of that. I mean, that's what kind of tricks you, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like with music, it's more real. It's more yeah, it's like there. It's really there. Like right behind, you know, the voice or behind those instruments and all that. Maybe just more so like when you sing more than anything. But
And
you see
the
people
highest,
rocking out. You see people rocking out with their guitars, the drum, everything, really, any instrument, but mainly singing, I feel like it really comes from the soul. Um so tying that in, it's hard to say like, oh, this song doesn't have passion, that song doesn't have this, that. So it's kind of a hard question, really, I think.
and the high
But
school friends that showed you Grace, like, do you feel sort of connected to them in that way? And
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we all have our own like I don't it's like I see blue, you see blue, but I think we in the end we all see it differently. But yeah, like when we're together, we're in a car, like the album Grace definitely would come up. I mean, probably along with other things. Maybe you want to get into what other things that group of friends would listen to, I guess. I
sure,
don't know. I guess with that group of friends, they listen to a lot like kind of screamo. There's like a lot of screamo metal they listen to, and like I've got into this band called Ocean's 8 Alaska, which is like as far as I'll go with it, just because the sounds and the guitar mainly and like the treble of that band that they use is it's just more like listenable. I feel like a lot of screamo can just get it's. I mean, I respect all kinds of music. It's not really for me necessarily. It's hard to. Yeah, I even feel bad just calling it screamo. I mean, I don't know if this end up on the internet. Like, if this ends up on the internet or whatever, and people who are like around metal and that stuff more will easily correct me. Like this, Ocean's 8 is probably not even screamo, but it's just like that. Like, what I'm talking about, like that growling. Yeah, it's really growling. I know they have a lot of stuff that in there. Both of those other guys, there's two guys. Like they share a lot of those interests, but me like sort of not as much. But I guess another band that we really got into together is the Deer Hunter. Um, heard of them?
yeah.
Yeah, they're great. I like Act Three the most. I mean, that's probably the ones I listen to the most. If you know them that well, I mean, their other acts, I couldn't get into them that well, but Yeah, and it's surprisingly, it's like a lot of the like high pitched like voice. That or I guess Jeff Buckley has like low and highs, like really high highs, and those lows are there as well. As far as like his his what do you even call it? Like his range. He has range.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I guess a Deer Hunter. Also, I mean, my favorite band is Arcade Fire, and I got them into it. Um,
Hmm.
and one friend of those two in particular, his name's Luke. He's super into music. I mean, he like his dad's like a like he owns a studio, but he also like writes a lot of music for a lot of different things. I remember one time he showed me the sample. It was like a rapper, and he had to make a bass line for him, and he just made like a bass line for him. It was like a really goofy song, but and he's also made them for like little small project films, like going to college because he did like film mainly, but he wrote music for I guess you call them like scores, right? For like kind of ambient
Yeah.
scores. I don't know if you've ever listened to or like ever like paid attention to like the Safdie brothers movies, like a Good Time or Uncut Gems.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of like what is it called? It's like synth. Yeah, like a lot of synth. I think he did like one of the song that he or one of the scores he wrote for one of his friends in or one of his colleagues or whatever, was like synth. What am I getting at? Oh, there's a point. There's a point to that. Oh yeah, like what I'm trying to say was like that friend is very musically like talented, and like sometimes when you're trying to recommend something to someone like that who's like listened to also a lot of music, it's not just like from a snobby place. Like you kind of want their approval from them,
Sure.
like when it comes to like, oh, dude, do you like this? Because like. And I just remember him showing Arcade Fire and him really liking Arcade Fire. I mean, yeah, that's probably my favorite band. Like I really like Arcade Fire. Probably should have chosen a song from him, but that was just what was on my mind at the time. Um,
And when is the next time you expect to listen to Grace?
oh, dude, tonight sometime, I'm sure. I mean, that's just fun. I mean, that song's just great. Wait in the fire, yeah, it's good. It's a great song.
Cool. Well,
Um,
Chris,
yeah,
thank you very much.
thank you, man. Nice speaking to you, dude.
Good
Nice to
speaking
see
with
you.
you.
All right.